Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing a MacBook Pro, an Apple machine, running Cyberpunk 2077. Yes guys, this game got updated a few days ago to support Apple Silicon, so it now runs on these recent-ish MacBooks from the M1 all the way up to the M4 series, and I can't wait to try this out. This is the first time that I'm testing an Apple machine in this channel, guys. This is crazy. Now, going over the specs of this machine, this is the 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M3 Max chip. It has the 14-core CPU with 30-core GPU, not the 16-core CPU with 40-core GPU. That will be a little bit faster. And it also comes with 36 gigabytes of unified memory and a 1 terabyte SSD. I'm also going to be utilizing a capture card to record everything that you'll see on screen and an external display at 1080p, 1440p, and 4K resolutions. So not the actual resolution of the display of this thing, which is 3000-ish by 1900-ish, but it's still a good range of display resolutions, and we can compare it then to some other systems that I've tried in the past. But that's enough talking, let's play Cyberpunk 2077 on a MacBook Pro. Shall we? So first of all, I got the show-only games that run on macOS here selected, and Cyberpunk is already running in the background, by the way. Speaking of background, just look at how quickly you can get back into the game. This is way better than what we have on Windows to tab in and tab out of games. What the heck? Alright guys, here we have it! Oh, it's actually smooth. Ugh, it has motion blur. I gotta disable that. But let's go for the settings right now. We're playing at 1080p resolution to start this off. I'm also gonna try other resolutions. For this Mac settings, this is the preset here, so they actually optimized it to run the best on their hardware, maybe? I don't know. I'm gonna disable film grain, depth of field, as well as that motion blur. And I also want to start without the resolution scaling. This is MetalFX. It's their upscaling, Apple upscaling, and I want to turn it off right now. Okay, so these are the for the Mac settings, but at native resolution, and the preset also enables VSync, which I will disable, of course. I want unlocked FPS. Oh my god, 1000 FPS or 999. That's crazy. But here we are. So at native resolution, 1080p, we're getting 60-ish frames per second, 60 to 65 most of the time, dropping into the 50s right now. So it can't really hold 60 FPS all of the time at native 1080p, but it did look pretty decent with MetalFX dynamic resolution scaling, so I'm probably gonna go back to that and test it out like that for a little bit. But yeah, this is certainly a playable experience. It's not a gaming machine, really. Like, it's a super expensive laptop, but you can put together and buy Windows laptops with much better hardware for gaming, of course. But it's still interesting to see, right? I mean, 40-ish FPS. We can now play Cyberpunk on MacBooks. That's crazy. Even on MacBooks with the M1, as suggested by the minimum requirements. If this video gets a lot of views, and if you guys are interested, comment down below, by the way. Goodbye, Bob! Oh my god, what the heck? Wait! Is Cyberpunk on the Mac Cyberbug? Maybe they need to fix a bunch of things. I don't know. I haven't seen that bug in a really long time. Anyway, tell me down below in the comments if the Apple M1 test is something that you would be interested in seeing. I should be able to find one for cheap on the used market and then resell it later just for a video, you know. Yeah, anyway, this is it. It doesn't stutter too much. The frame time graph, it's not a frame time graph, it's a CPU and GPU graph, but it shows stuttering there, and it shows us that it's quite smooth of an experience most of the time here. Sometimes it goes a little bit crazy, but it's not bad at all. It is playable. A buggy one, I guess, but I'm not sure if that's due to us being lucky to find bugs or if it's the Mac OS version that is a bit buggy. Anyway, this is what I'm really interested in, my friends. Like, MetalFX. I have never seen MetalFX. I've seen FSR, XCSS, you know, DLSS, obviously. I tested that extensively already. But MetalFX is new to me. This is Apple's upscaler here, and I want to check it out on quality first. This should run the game at 720p resolution and upscale it to 1080p. Frame generation that is available is FSR 3.1 frame generation, which doesn't work. Yeah, they still haven't fixed frame generation in this game. It's been like a year already, but anyway, everything else still the same. Okay, in motion, it actually is pretty fuzzy looking with MetalFX. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Why is it having so much stuttering at the moment? Oh, what the hell, dude? It is really unstable right now. Is it overheating or something? Could be. I don't know. I mean, the on-screen display doesn't really tell us a whole lot in terms of temperatures, unfortunately. I wish we could grab like MSI Afterburner to run it here, but it doesn't work, of course. So we gotta deal with that. Yeah, this is a very bad experience with MetalFX. What the hell, dude? It should be better, right? Because it's upscaling from a lower resolution, but I guess maybe it's not working properly. What I'm seeing here is, if you want a stable experience, just play at native 1080p. It's gonna be lower in FPS, of course, but it's not stuttery, so yeah, I would just do that. But I want to check out the visuals still and talk a little bit about that. The guy just turned there. What the hell? Like, seriously, I am seeing more bugs here. I'm definitely seeing more bugs here. Anyway, the visuals, I would say, are a bit behind what XeSS can do, and definitely a lot behind what DLSS can do, but I think it's a little bit better than FSR. We can actually compare it here, since this also supports FSR. I'm just gonna go to the roundabout, which has a lot more lighting going on. We also lost our headlights already, because I am a very good driver, of course. Yeah, let's stop it right here. Move a little bit. You can see some shimmering, some fuzziness when I move, but it's not too terrible. It's not as bad as FSR, in my opinion. Let's use FSR 2.1 now with quality. This looks better than 3.0 in this game, by the way. It's sharper, but it's also more shimmery. Ooh, I don't know, guys. I don't know. FSR 2.1 looks better than I thought it would here in this title. Okay. And it seems like it doesn't stutter as much as MetalFX did, right? I mean, let me stand right here. We're getting 72 frames per second standing here, almost 73, with quality FSR. And with quality MetalFX, we get... It's the same FPS, maybe slightly better. Alright, so the performance gain is actually quite good. It just depends on whether you like a little bit more noise added to the picture from FSR and also a little bit sharper image, or a softer image with less noise with MetalFX. Right now it's smooth. Okay, starting to stutter a little. Yeah, in this area for some reason we see a few more stutters. Definitely. Okay, but you know what? It may be loaded in whatever it needed to load with MetalFX or whatever, and now most of the time it's definitely more stable than it was before. Look at that graph, right? It still has spikes, but it's not as bad as it was. Hello, buddy. How's it going? Oh boy, somebody hit us. Somebody hit us. No. All right, get inside of the car again. Ooh, the police car would be better. Yes. Oh, what the heck? It's way too bright now. Stop it. Come on. Yeah, it's super playable still. Come on. There we go. All right, get in. Good stuff. Yes, sir. Look at that, 60 still. Not bad. But it does dip down into the 50s here. Yeah, definitely. Into the low 50s as well. What the hell was that crash? That was a really weird crash. Yeah. So I guess whenever it starts dropping into the 50s, it has more spikes there in the graph, and those are stutters. Those are definitely very noticeable, guys. It's not like half-second stutters making it completely unplayable, though, but it's not a smooth experience either, which is unfortunate. All right, let me try like performance MetalFX. I'm curious to see the graphics. Oh boy, yeah, that looks pretty decent. Some areas of the picture don't look decent at all. Okay. Like, if you look at the car, it's not too terrible. Yeah, it has a lot of shimmering and so on. But if you look at the NPCs on the sidewalks, for example, it looks really bad. I don't like it. It's way too pixelated, but that's to be expected. This is upscaling now from a 540p resolution. If it works like FSR and XeSS and DLSS, you know, with performance being 50% resolution scaling, still has a lot of stuttering issues, so I think that's something that they should definitely work on. The developers need to fix those stuttering issues. When this game came out on PC, it had a few stutters here and there, you know, but it wasn't as bad as this. But there's still time, though, of course. They just ported this onto Mac, and the fact that it works now on Mac is pretty incredible. Now, this APU also supports ray tracing. I'm not gonna do overdrive, at least right now. Okay, I might do it later, but yeah, let's start with ray tracing ultra here, quality MetalFX, and I will disable those pesky little options that I hate and ruin image quality a little bit, especially on YouTube. And let's check this out. So, oh my god, okay. Is it targeting 30 FPS? There's no targeting. Yeah, everything is still off. There's a ton of input lag, guys. This is pretty bad. Oh my goodness. So we're essentially playing at 720p resolution internally, being upscaled to 1080p. It doesn't have any sort of ray reconstruction mechanics built into MetalFX, so it looks really bad. Especially like the ray traced reflections and so on. It's really low quality here. I don't think you can run ray tracing on MacBooks at the moment, unfortunately, in Cyberpunk 2077. Maybe if they optimize the game better to run on these things, because the performance of this APU, the GPU part of it especially, is very similar to a 3060 mobile, and the 3060 mobile does do a better job in this title than this is doing. But again, it just came out on MacBook, so it's not fully optimized yet, probably, I guess. I hope they work on it. Not sure if they're more busy with like The Witcher 4 or something, but yeah. Anyway, this is a pretty terrible experience here, guys. Not recommended at all. And if you want higher resolution gaming, you're pretty much screwed. Like, the laptop screen is very high resolution. I'm not sure exactly what the resolution is. I'll put it on screen, but it's very high resolution, and if you want to play at native res, it's not going to work very well, especially with the 4D Max settings. Maybe with performance, MetalFX, it will. Actually tried it, okay? And I was seeing like 40 FPS, around 40 FPS with performance MetalFX. Surprisingly, by the way, ray tracing experience is also smoother than what we were seeing before with MetalFX, with a lot of stuttering, so that's interesting. Let's use performance MetalFX now. Alright, this way we can actually get 30 plus FPS at 1080p resolution. Look at that. Not too bad. And the frame time, once again, we're still seeing those bigger spikes here and there, but it's not a complete stutter fest like it was before. I guess maybe it was just applying something previously. But yeah, it's playable, it just looks like crap, even with quality MetalFX. I almost always say DLSS, and I wouldn't say DLSS or FSR or XeSS, but MetalFX. Hello, lady, how's it going? All foods. Special. Oh, yeah, that's a very nice face indeed. Talk.
What do you want, friend?
I'm her friend. She knows it. She knows that I am her friend. Bob doesn't. Look at him, right here. Everything all right? Like he's a good guy, you know, asking him about. Yeah, come on. That's a thick phone, dude. What the hell? What kind of battery do you have there? All weak battery right there. Bye, Bob. You didn't. How do you not die? How do you? God, Bob. Ugh. Oh, perfect. The no magazine reload bug. It's still here. I guess you can run around with ray tracing, try it out, you know, but overall it's not going to be a pleasant experience at all. So I would definitely avoid it. All right. And yeah, there are lower ray tracing settings over here with like ray tracing low, but this only uses ray traced local shadows. Everything is turned off, and it doesn't look as good, of course. Like, motion blur. It is. Oh my god, look at the frame time or the graph. I gotta stop calling it frame time as well. Yeah, it's definitely more playable, 40-ish frames per second, but it's only the sun shadows that are being ray traced, and there is no sun at the moment, so it is what it is, my friends. Anyway, let's do that ray tracing overdrive. I'll do MetalFX on auto now, and I'll also not forget to disable these pesky little options right here. Okay, this is path tracing. Somehow this actually renders path tracing. Very interesting. Tons of stuttering. I mean, I'm not even sure if we can call it stuttering at this point. It's just really, really low FPS. 16 frames per second, guys. Oh my, yeah, no. Honestly, I thought it was going to be worse, not gonna lie, but it is not native resolution. If we do native resolution without MetalFX, it says that we're getting higher FPS. Okay, it's starting to drop slowly for some reason. But it's the flattest graph that we've ever seen so far. Look at that! No single spike, no stuttering. Never mind. It just stuttered now. But we get 8 FPS with ray tracing overdrive, which is path tracing here. And obviously it's completely unplayable. But I guess you could like take some screenshots with it if you really, really wanted to. However, since there's no ray reconstruction or anything, it looks off. But alright, I'm now going to try to aim for a 60 FPS experience at native resolution. So without using resolution scaling, I set it to the medium preset. Disable motion blur, please. There we go. So a lot of things were turned down from high to medium this time around. And it should be a better experience here at native 1080p. Yeah, definitely. Oh, so smooth after playing with 8 FPS. Okay, it's time for us to ditch this car, actually. It doesn't have headlights anymore. Oh, hello there. A car with headlights. Beautiful. Please get out. I want your car. How can't I take control of a car with a dead person inside? Why do I need more force? Please. Okay. You know what? I don't care. I'm gonna grab the police car. Hello. How's it going? Were you shooting at me? What the hell? They were shooting in the other direction. For some reason, it's harder to break into a dead person's car with said dead person inside with a broken window, because I shot at it, than a police car with police nearby. Oh boy. Alright, 60 FPS. Oh, I see. It actually enabled VSync again, guys. So let's disable that. It capped it to 60 FPS. It can actually go higher, as you can see, 64, 65, 67. So medium settings at native 1080p does still drop down into the low 50s, which isn't amazing, unfortunately. Like, I thought it was going to be a little bit faster, honestly. Also, the police lights reflecting off everything looks pretty cool as well. And this is without ray tracing. With ray tracing, it makes a massive difference when it comes to the lights reflecting off surfaces, you know? But yeah, it still happens here. It's just to a lesser degree. Yeah, I guess this is a smooth experience. I mean, it's not 60 plus 100% of the time, but it's playable. Oh, it still drops into the 40s. Look at that in this area, 48, 49. It is stable, though. It's definitely smooth, and it can be enjoyable. But it's still not 60 plus. Can we do, like, low settings, please? Okay, 60s. 60 to 65 frames per second. 60 minimum so far. That's not bad. We might actually have found the settings to play at 1080p native resolution above 60 FPS all times. No. It still drops. It's still dropping into the lower 50s, guys. Over here, it usually gets pretty intensive as well. I think, yeah, right here, 53 FPS, 55. Now gonna go back up to 60, but Yeah, it still drops. Even on low settings, it still drops. So again, I think it's just a matter of optimization, and the game is not really fully optimized yet on macOS. I would, however, choose to play on medium settings. I think those were the smoothest, and they still look pretty good, you know? So that's it. Medium settings, native 1080p is what I'd go for. But what about 1440p resolution? We're still using the low settings preset, which is not lowest settings. There are plenty of things that could go lower than this, but it makes the game look really pretty with the low preset instead of the lowest settings. And at 1440p native resolution, we lost about 20 frames per second. So instead of getting 60s and right around 60 FPS, you know, we're getting 40s, possibly going to drop into the low 30s, but not from 30, so it's still playable, it's still usable. I'm curious to see, however, the upscaling MetalFX at 1440p, because usually the higher the starting resolution, the higher quality the upscaled image will be. So if you're playing at 4K with performance FSR or MetalFX, it's going to look way better than at 1080p with the same performance MetalFX. And there's Jack, by the way. Hello, Jack. How's it going, buddy? Beautiful here. He's immortalized here in Cyberpunk 2077, my friends. Oh, yes. I just noticed that there are probably going to be a lot of new people here to the channel in this video. And they don't know who Bob is. They don't know who Jack is. So that's weird for them. But hey, it's channel lore. You're gonna find out about it when I play GTA 5 the next time. Alright? Anyway, it's playable. Yeah, it's not buttery smooth, but I could still enjoy Cyberpunk like this, since it's not stuttery, you know? Alright, let's see quality MetalFX now. Oh, at 1440p resolution. Ooh, that bumps things up by quite a lot, putting up 60 FPS. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. Still dropping into the 50s slightly, but it's getting really similar FPS to what we got at 1080p native resolution, and this looks better than 1080p native resolution in my opinion. Goodbye, Bob! There we go. Oh my god! See that? Guys, these bugs, I thought these bugs were completely fixed in Cyberpunk. But again, it could be something to do with Apple Silicon and the optimization for this. Yeah, it's definitely playable like this, and if I was playing at 1440p, I would utilize the MetalFX quality upscaler. Works pretty well. I don't know why it stuttered so much at 1080p resolution previously when I first enabled it. Maybe it just enabled it wrong or applied it wrong, I don't know. But it was such a stuttery mess. Look at this area, it's usually pretty beautiful as well, with a lot of lights and so on. One thing that I noticed on the MacBook's display is the HDR is really nice. It's a mini LED display and it just pops a lot. It's really good. Ooh, I just noticed, by the way, if you select the For This Mac settings, it actually reverts to 1080p. So it recommends 1080p for this Mac with the M3 Max, and it is not a slow Mac or an inexpensive one, you know. So I would think, yeah, $4,000 machine or $3,000 machine, it should probably run ray tracing by default. Yeah, that's pretty intensive, but let's go with high settings here. I'm gonna go back to 1440p. This is it. I'm still gonna keep the MetalFX on quality. Disable these options, and these are the high settings. Oh, this looks pretty good. Wow, and the FPS are decent still. You know what? Now it's a matter of, do you want 40 to 50 FPS experience most of the time with higher 40s on average, I guess, from what we're seeing here, but it's smooth, no stuttering, right? And good visual fidelity. High settings does look really good in this game, as you can see, with quality MetalFX, which is working really well at 1440p as well. So I don't have any issues whatsoever with these visuals, but it doesn't hit 60 FPS. So do you prefer that slightly choppier experience with good visuals, or do you prefer low settings with closer to 60 FPS with the same MetalFX quality mode enabled? I think I would go for this, because this is still really solid and smooth. And most of the times around like 48 frames per second, I guess, on average, or even 50 FPS on average. Around this area, we're seeing 53, 56 almost, 57. Yeah, performs well. I think I would play like this. What about balanced MetalFX? That's super similar. Okay, no, I can see... Yeah, never mind. At first glance, it was really close in terms of visuals to quality, but paying more attention, it does have a ton more shimmering and noise and pixelation. So I don't like that. Quality is the way to go. But let's bump it up even further to 4K resolution, guys. So this is a notch up a notch. The laptop actually has a notch. That's weird. That's really weird, actually. I'm anyway, but this is definitely higher than what the internal resolution on the laptop is. And we're still using high settings with quality MetalFX. Should we do native resolution? Probably not, right? Oh boy. Oh, that looks really good. But it's getting 20s. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good. Yeah, it looks sick, guys. Look at this. High settings, quality MetalFX, making it look very close to 4K visuals indeed, although still with a bit of shimmering. It's definitely noticeable, but it looks really good. The back of the car has a ton of aliasing, though. Yeah, that doesn't look as good, though. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're getting 20s, guys. It's pretty terrible. What about native resolution? Yeah, no more shimmering, no more aliasing on the back of the car right now, but we're down to 15, 14 FPS. Yeah, it's pretty terrible, guys. It's even worse than with ray tracing at 1080p. Okay, so at 4K resolution, you either choose to play with performance MetalFX, which might make it decent. Yeah, okay, so it's in the third... it's dropping. It's dropping. It's still going to drop from 30 FPS, isn't it? We're getting 30s here, so that means that in the other area up there is going to drop into the 20s. Let's see, though. Stuttering on the frame time. The graph, not frame time. Let's go. It's over here. Okay, it didn't. Actually, it doesn't drop from 30 FPS. So if all you wanted is a 30 FPS experience to play with a controller, for example, it's surprisingly solid. I thought it was going to drop from 30. It's very close to 30 FPS sometimes, and it actually touches 30 FPS sometimes, which makes me a bit uncomfortable, but it should be playable to a lot of people like this. And it looks beautiful at the same time. However, I would probably go down to low settings if I was playing at 4K resolution, right? Because it's way too high of a res for this system and for this APU to render. And it still looks decent, right? This is with performance, MetalFX once again. Lots of shimmering on the car, though. Don't like that too much, but we're getting 40 FPS right now, and I feel like 40 FPS might be the sweet spot for this APU since it can't really handle 60 plus all of the time, even at 1080p with upscaling and low settings. So around 40, if it doesn't drop too much from 40, it's pretty perfect. That's why 1440p with high settings and quality MetalFX was pretty perfect, basically, and probably what I choose to play on. I was trying to aim for the 60 FPS experience, 60 FPS sweet spot in this video, but unfortunately it doesn't have enough power to run it. And the sweet spot ends up being 40-45 FPS average. What about 4K native? My inner thoughts, my friends. I'm sorry, I test a bunch of settings in these videos, and I drive around clueless every single time, but I'm just really curious about how the systems run. Yeah, so native resolution at 4K is pretty much impossible. It's unplayable, completely unplayable. 22 FPS. It's pretty terrible, guys. Anyway, last thing to test is obviously Overdrive at 4K resolution. You should not do this. Native resolution, alright. Ray tracing overdrive, just gonna disable these options again. Is path tracing. and it got 8 FPS at 1080p resolution. Why is this on low? I want it on high. It got 8 FPS at 1080p resolution. At 4K resolution, it says that we're getting 20s. It's not 20s. It's slowly dropping. This is like 1 FPS. Maybe 2 FPS. It looks sick though. Come on. It still hasn't stabilized. It takes a really long time to stabilize the frame rate. Is it 5 FPS? I don't think so. It looks way lower than 5 FPS. Still going down. Obviously, needless to say, this is completely unplayable and stupid, and nobody should do this. I think it's stabilized at 2.5 frames per second, so we're getting 2 FPS, basically. That's it for this one, my friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this look at the MacBook Pro M3 Max 14-inch playing Cyberpunk 2077. First time that I'm doing this on a MacBook as well. It was pretty interesting to see. It's really cool that MacBooks now support this game in the first place. And again, let me know if I should test other MacBooks here in this game, and I'll try to grab one. I actually have a friend of mine who has an M3 MacBook Air. Yeah, that one should be interesting because it doesn't even have fans, so it might overheat. I don't know. But yeah, I'll try to get a hold of that if you guys enjoy this one, and the M1 as well. I'm really curious about the M1 since it's the minimum requirement. Thanks for watching though, and I'll catch you in the next one. Love you all. Bye-bye.